Hello everyone, today I'm just going over the spoilers for Kaldheim from day 2. If you enjoy this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and give me any feedback that you do have. You can also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Jarvis_Moonbeam, at Twitter underneath Jarvis_Moonbeam, Instagram Jarvis_Moonbeam as well. The link to my Discord will also be here. Enjoy the content, and once you're done going through everything, just let me know what you think and give me your feedback. Thank you. Let's go through the Kaldheim cards from today, starting bottom up. So, first, Goldspan Dragon, 3/2 red, just a regular dragon, flying in a haste. And it's a 4/4. Whenever it attacks or becomes a target of a spell, create a treasure token. Treasures you control have sacrifice this artifact at 2 mana of any one color. So it doubles the amount of mana you get from treasures. It's a 4/4 flying haster. And as you will see later on, there are more treasures available. I like it. I don't know if it has room in standard right now without seeing what other support there is for treasures. I know right now we have the dragon, opportunistic dragon. What is it? The dragon that whenever that I can't attack unless you control so many artifacts. Can't remember the name of it. We have that going right now, so they could go in here, but yet again, you're talking about Dragon Tribal, and that gets kind of expensive on CMC. Next one is Glittering Frost, 2 and a green, enchant land. Enchanted land is snow, so it gives you that snow permanent. And then whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional 1 mana of any color. It's a worse Gifts of Paradise. It's not really good. I don't see the point of playing it unless you really need mana fixing. I don't see any play. Giant's Amulet, when it enters it's 1 blue. And artifact equipment, when it enters the battlefield, you may pay 3 and a blue. If you do, create a 4/4 blue giant wizard creature token, then attach Giant's Amulet to it. Equipped creature has +0/+1, and this creature has hexproof as long as it's untapped. I really like this. A lot of times, you'll be okay playing it just for the blue and then paying the 2 equip cost. Other times, you might want to just save it and pay 5 into it. So that way you can go and get the 4/4. The hexproof as long as it's untapped is what made Paradise Druid so good for so long. I really like the card. I think that's going to see a lot of play. Maybe not standard, but Commander. I think people are going to play that. Calamity Bearer, 2 and 2 red, creature giant berserker. If a giant source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead. And it's a 3/4. This depends solely on what other giants are in the set. You can see Giant Tribal in standard. It's not, other than that, maybe play it with Torbrand. I don't think it's that good though. Bredegard Stronghold. It's a land that when it enters tapped, you can tap it for a single green, or for a green and 2 white. You tap it, sacrifice it, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures you control. They gain vigilance and lifelink until end of turn, and you can only activate it when you can cast a sorcery. This card sucks. Not worth it. Shouldn't play it. I think it's bad. It's essentially your land and then 3 mana for 2 +1/+1 counters. Yeah, I don't like it at all. The only deck that I see being played right now that it might see play in is the Selesnya Counters deck, and even then, I don't think it's worth it. Forging the Tyrite Sword, 1 red and white. It's an enchantment saga. Steps 1 and 2 are create a treasure token. Step 3 is search your library for a card named Halvar, God of Battle, or an equipment card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. This card is fantastic. Good for Voltron decks. You could go and play it in standard if you want to go. If you're playing a Boros deck, and you get Halvar or another equipment, and it pays back for that equipment or Halvar you're playing. If you're playing Halvar, I really like the card. I think it's going to be very good. Sure, it's a 3-turn burn, but I see it seeing play. I really do like it. Raven form, 2 and a blue. Exile target artifact or creature. Its controller creates a 1/1 blue bird creature token with flying, and has that stupid foretell. So this card is a good card. It exiles artifacts or creatures where typically you don't have that in blue. You typically just bounce in blue. You don't exile or destroy or remove. More often than not, might sneeze. Sorry, nope, I'm good. More often than not, you might just end up destroying it. Not destroy, I mean, enchanting it to make it so it doesn't work anymore. I really like that. It's going to see play. It's going to be good. Probably a sideboard card in standard. One of my favorite cards unveiled today, the Trickster God's Heist. 2, a blue and a black, enchantment saga. Step 1, you make exchange control of 2 target creatures. Step 2, you make exchange control of 2 target non-basic, non-creature permanents that share a card type. Step 3, target player loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. So, step 1, exchange control of 2 creatures. A lot of the Dimir decks that are currently going around in standard either don't play any creatures, or they play like a Brazen Borrower, or you get a token from Ashiok, something like that. Or they play rogues, which rogues are very small creatures. Exchange it for a big creature, or exchange it for like a love struck. You can exchange it for a like their Kazanu Mammoth or something like that. Step 2, exchange control of 2 target non-basic, non-creature permanents that share a type. You can swap lands if you want to. I don't see why you would. But yet again, you can use this to go and swap artifacts or enchantments. Just get what is not good for them, or what's really good for them, on your side, and slow them down. Step 3, that's probably the worst part of it. Well, it's definitely the worst part. Loses 3 life and you gain 3. That typically doesn't really matter in games. Where you'll see this seen a lot of play in Commander is those gifting decks. Or I even see it funny in Esper. Exchange control of this. Exchange control of 9 lives. And this. And then destroy their 9 lives and make them lose the game. Because you still own the card. So that would be fun. Path to the World Tree. 1 and a green. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic land card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Oh, and this is an enchantment, by the way. And then for 2 Wooburg, sacrifice Path to the World Tree. You gain 2 life and draw 2 cards. Target opponent loses 2 life. Path to the World Tree deals 2 damage to up to 1 target creature. You could create a 2/2 green bear creature token. This card sucks. There's no nice way to put it. It's just awful. I don't see why anyone would play this in anything. It's just not a good card. I don't like it at all. Tyvar Kell, 2 and 2 green, Planeswalker. Spells you control have tap, add black. its +1 is put a +1/+1 counter on up to one target elf. Untap it. It gains death touch until end of turn. Zero it, you create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. And its -6 is you get an emblem with whenever you cast an elf spell, it gains haste until end of turn, and you draw 2 cards. This will go in every elf ball deck that is in Commander ever, because that is Golgari. You can't go in mono green, but yeah, Golgari elves will love this card forever and ever. Also, if you go and expand the Paradox Engine deck, that's an historic elf deck in historic right now. This is going in that deck so fast, it's not even funny. Just because your elves can then tap for black mana as well. So it's another way. So even if you're playing elves that aren't mana dorks, you still get mana dorks. It's a really good card. Kolvori, God of Kinship, 2 and 2 green. As long as you control 3 or legendary god, that's a 2/4. As long as you control 3 or more legendary creatures, Kolvori gets +4/+2 and has vigilance. For 1 and a green, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a legendary creature card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. The front part of this card, I'm not a huge fan of. Because the legendary matters, and I really don't like building my decks as legendary matters. So it's just not something that I enjoy. However, the back of the card is where I really think it shines. The Ringheart Crest, it's 1 and a green, legendary artifact. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. You add green, spend this mana only to cast a creature spell of the chosen type or a legendary creature spell. So it's a 2 mana rock for green, only for those creatures. But you don't really get 2 mana rocks in standard anymore. And if you're doing tribal, it's great. Yet again, this could be played in elves if they really wanted to, but they don't need that. But anything tribal would be really great. I think this is going to be more of a commander play than a standard play, though, or even historic, which those are the formats I play. Hailstorm Valkyrie, 3 and a black, flying trample. It's an angel wizard, a snow angel wizard, very important here, because for 2 snow, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. And it's only a 2/2. This card will only see play in limited. It is not good enough to see play in any other format unless someone's just trying to do a janky commander brew, or maybe even a janky standard brew. It's not good. But flyers, and especially black flyers, really worth it in limited. Sculptor of Winter, 1 and a black. Tap it, untap target snowland, and it's a 2/2. Elf Rogue. It's going to see play. It untaps lands. No reason why it won't see play. Sure, it's Snowlands, but I have a feeling that everyone's just going to play Snowlands even if snow doesn't matter in their deck anyway. Now to a card I hate, because I hate the foretell mechanic so far, because I don't like cards that I cannot interact with because I'm a control player and I want to control them. But Cosmos Chargers, 3 and a blue, Horse Spirit, 3/3. Has flash and flying. Foretelling cards from your hand costs 1 less and can be done on any player's turn. So typically when you have to go and pay 2, you have to pay 1 to foretell the card now. So it's instant mana advantage. And you could even foretell this for 2 and a blue. And typically foretell, you can only do it on your turn. You can't do it on your opponent's turn. So this now makes it that if you have open mana, I'll just foretell that, I'll just foretell that, I'll just foretell that. And they have no idea what you're doing. Hate it. Hate everything about it. Everything about it. Everyone knows what Village Right's done. It's a useful card. That's why it's getting reprinted. That's why people play it. Coma's Faithful, 2 and a black. Elf Cleric, 3/1 with lifelink. When it dies, each player mills 3 cards. This will find a home in some decks, the ones that really care about milling yourself, possibly milling your opponent, but I don't think it's going to see a lot of play. I don't think it's that good, but it will probably see some. Seize the Spoils. As an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card. Draw 2 cards to create a treasure token. What, Faithless Looting? Or is pretty much where you could go and look at this. Oh no, that's one for one. Cathartic. Helps if I spell things right when I'm looking them up. So it's cost 1 more than Cathartic Reunion does. But Cathartic Reunion, you have to discard 2 and then you get to draw 3. This is discard 1, draw 2, and you get 1 of the mana back right away. I'd rather Seize the Spoils over Cathartic Reunion. Because essentially they cost the same. But you could use that treasure for something else if you need to. Plus, I'm a huge fan of treasures. Asika, God of the Tree. This card is, the backside of this card is what I love. But we'll get to that. 1 and 2 green, Vigilance. Add 1 mana of any color. Other legendary creatures you control have Vigilance and add 1 mana of any color. And this is a legendary god that's a 1/4. Yet again, legendaries matter. I don't typically build legendary matters, but I feel like this is pushing you to that way. And you might see a lot of that in standard, and maybe then of course you already have that in commander. But the back of it, I just love the back of it. For Wooburg, the Prismatic Bridge. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature or planeswalker card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. If you are playing a Wooburg tribal deck or a Wooburg Super Friends deck, you are playing this. And if you're playing either of those, if your tribe does not have support, play this as your commander. It's instant card advantage. Once that Prismatic Bridge hits, oops, I did not even mean to do that. I just like it a lot. I really do. Coma Cosmos Serpent. 3, 2 green, 2 blue. This spell can't be countered. It's a legendary serpent that's a 6/6. At the beginning of each upkeep, create a 3/3 blue serpent creature token named Coma's Coil. Sacrifice another serpent, choose one. Tap target permanent. Its activated abilities can't be activated this turn. And Coma Cosmos Serpent gains indestructible until end of turn. No. I don't like this. And the reason why I don't like this is because at 7 mana, there's more that I want to be doing than casting a 6/6 creature that Stone Cold Serpent is a snake. Great, you have things. It's not a serpent. I don't. So are there any other serpents I want to be doing for 7 mana? I don't want to be doing this. I don't think there are. Do I think it'll see play? Yeah, it's going to see play. Do I think it'll be fun? Like there's only 5 to do a serpent travel. Yeah, which makes it that being serpents aren't going to make sense there. So I'm going to go on to the next one. The World Tree. It enters taps, and when you tap it, you add a green mana. As long as you control 6 or more lands you control have add 1 mana of any color. And for 2 white, 2 blue, 2 black, 2 red, and 2 green, sacrifice the World Tree, search your library for any number of god cards, put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. For this card, I like it a lot for Commander, not so much for Standard or any other constructed formats, because of the ability to go and mana fix. Plus, then you have God Travel, and God Travel is always fun. Firja, Judge of Valor, 2, a white and 2 black. Angel Cleric, 2/4, flying and lifelink. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. I'm not sure what I think of this card. I think it could be good. I think it just end up being bad because it's the second spell each turn, and you're not typically like storming in white and black. So I'm still undecided about it. It does give card advantage, but I'm just not sure. Turgid, God of Fear, 3 and 2 black. Legendary God, 4/5. Has Menace, and whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent or discards a permanent card, you may put that card onto the battlefield under your control from a graveyard. That's awesome because that gives you the fetch lands that they sacrifice. It pretty much gives you It That Betrays on a mono black creature, and I love It That Betrays. But then it also gives you the discards, so that's really good. And it has Menace. Is this the back of it? Oh yeah, this is the back of it. Tergrid's Lantern, 3 and a black. Target player loses 3 life unless they sacrifice a non-land permanent or discard a card. 3 and a black, untap Tergrid's Lantern. This card right here, I need to find a home for in my Conrad deck because if you could go, I have ways to go make lots of black mana. This is a Torment of Hailfire on an artifact, especially if you have the mana for it. I really like the card. I think it's a really good card. Yet again, it would be a contender for a mono black commander if I didn't already have one that I loved. Blizzard Battle, a single green. It's a snow sorcery. Choose target creature you control and target creature you don't control. The creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains indestructible until end of turn. If you control 3 or more snow permanents, then those creatures fight each other. It's a 1 mana fight spell. It will be played in limited all day long, and it might even go and replace something like Ram Through in standard. It's a pretty good card. Iron Verdict, 2 and a white. It deals 5 damage to target tap creature, and it has Foretell. I don't like it. I just don't. I don't like target tap creature spells or anything like that. The Troll's Awakening, 4, a red and a green. It's an enchantment saga. First step, destroy target land. Second step, return target land from a graveyard to the battlefield under your control. Step 3, choose target opponent. If you control more lands than them, create a number of 4/4 green troll warrior creature tokens with trample equal to the difference. This saga is awesome. So you destroy your opponent's land. Either it's something like a Crawling Barrens or something else that's going to cause you a problem, like one of the castles. Or in standard, in Commander, Cabal Coffer, something like that. Then you return target land from a graveyard to the battlefield under your control. Get one of your fetch lands if you have fetch lands in your graveyard. Get one of your other lands if you have them in your graveyard. Or say you destroy your opponent's land and you want that land on your side, just take it from their graveyard because it doesn't say it has to be from your graveyard, it's from any graveyard. And then the choose target opponent, control more lands, you're in red-green. You're going to out-ramp your opponents. Granted, it is 6 mana, so it is more late game, but I still really like it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's more of a commander card, but you'll see, I think you'll see a good spot in the rule decks in standard right now. And the final card that's been spoiled so far is Dragon Nest Berserker. It's 1 and a red. Creature Human Berserker, that's a 2/2. First strike, and boast abilities you activate cost 1 less to activate for each dragon you control. Boast 4 in a red, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. That's pretty sweet. You can create your own dragons, and you could have other boast creatures as well on the battlefield and get the discount. I could see this being played in a dragon commander deck. I could see this just because you could create your own dragons on your turn. Every turn as first strike. I also could see maybe, depending on what other dragons you get, it being played in standard. It seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know if it's going to really do anything major, but just a fun card, and fun cards are why we play Magic, not because they're always good, because you have fun playing them. But that's all the cards for today. So